back to my channel. I'm James. Today I've got a new episode in my popular video series, new and upcoming 4K UltraHD Blu-rays with brief analysis, movie collector's chat, and short reviews. Now for this video series, I'm making a change to this series. To kind of spice things up and bring something new, I'm actually changing the format of this video series. Now for this new format, I'm going to be doing short, brief movie analysis and reviews that are 3 minutes or less, covering 25 movie titles in this video. So this is where I cover a ton of titles that just really don't get talked about or reviewed by anyone. Give you these analysis, reviews, my testing results, all within 3 minutes or less on each one of these. So we've got a ton of stuff to dive into today. Now, any of these titles that you want to buy after hearing my review scores and analysis in this video, I've put the direct sale links from Amazon as a pinned comment in the comment section right below this video. When you click on those links, it takes you straight out to Amazon. They're on sale for the same prices everywhere. And those links down there, when you click on them, never cost you, the viewer, even a penny extra when you click on them. So make sure if you want to buy any of these or add any of these to your collection after watching this video, make sure to use those links I posted directly down below. First up, we have the 1998 horror thriller, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. This is the sequel to the original I Know What You Did Last Summer that I previously reviewed with an exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison review. You can check that out right now here on this YouTube channel. But this release I was excited for because I did like that original 4K release. Sony's been known for doing some pretty dang good jobs with their 4K restorations and 4K transfers. So I dived into this one, and this is a native 4K 2160p. It has both Dolby Vision and HDR10. Between the two of those, the Dolby Vision was the winner. It was about 5% better looking than the HDR10 overall. Skin tones and colors did just look slightly better on that. Now, this does have an English Dolby Atmos mix that is very strong and has a very nice and clear and crisp presentation. You can hear everything fine. It has good range, moves things around well, and also uses the height channels in very unique ways. Very similar to the first review I did of the first film in that sense. I did really enjoy the Dolby Atmos mix on this. Now this is where there are some slight variations to the first film and this restoration. There was some digital noise and some blocking that did appear in this that you do notice in a few scenes at the beginning. There was one towards the middle, then one towards the end, and they're just brief. They're not too long, but they were something I noticed that should have been cleaned up and caught that wasn't. Doesn't ruin the presentation, but it didn't make it as pristine or gorgeous of a transfer as the first film was that Sony released of this movie series. So this simply is not as solid of a 4K restoration as I Know What You Did Last Summer was on 4K. Now, getting to the rough average bitrate, this did have a high, healthy, and strong rough average bitrate of 74 megabits per second. Now, getting to my review score for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer on 4K Ultra HD, this gets a very good 9.1. Even with those slight things that I encountered in it that I wish would have been caught, it's still a 9.1 and is a must buy. You're going to want to buy and add to your collection, especially to go along with I Know What You Did Last Summer that I previously reviewed. This is one of those collections that Sony's doing a good job with it. I'm just hoping that any future ones, they take those little nitpicky things that show up in there with that digital noise and things and fix those. So that way we don't have any of those and it can get a much higher review score. But a 9.1 is still a recommended must buy that you're going to want to buy and add to your collection. And as I said, I put that direct sale link from Amazon pinned comment in the comment section right below. If you enjoy movies and TV series, this channel is the place for you. Make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Next up, we have the thriller mystery from 1997, Kiss the Girls. This has Ashley Judd in it and Morgan Freeman. They are both really good in this. I really enjoyed Ashley Judd's kind of like mystery thriller phase she went through in the 90s. Now, if you haven't previously checked out, I did Double Jeopardy. That's another really good mystery thriller by Paramount that was with Ashley Judd in it. That if you haven't checked out that review, you'll want to check that one out. But this film is a little bit different. This one's a bit darker. It's more of a more psychological thriller, horror, and there is strong horror elements in this that I do really enjoy the film itself. But all previous iterations of this, including the previous Blu-ray release, were pretty poor. They had some banding, digital noise issues. There was some issues where it actually had some black crush as well. I can tell you, thankfully though, those things have been fixed in this 4K Ultra HD release, and you no longer have any of those issues. For this new 4K transfer, it is a native 4K 2160p, and it does have Dolby Vision and HDR10. Now, between the Dolby Vision and HDR10, I really couldn't tell any difference. It looked very similar between both of those and was a very nice presentation. I will say the 4K image had nice depth and detail in it. It does have a very nice new color grading because of the new transfer they did for the Dolby Vision and HDR10 master. And that's where you notice a big change in how good this image looks over the previous Blu-ray releases, because gone is that horrible grayish and yellowed out color grading they had in a lot of the previous Blu-ray release. This is actually a very nice and natural looking skin tones, and the colors really do look nice and natural throughout the entire runtime of the film. Now, talking about the audio, this does have an English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1, and it is a lossless mix. I can tell you compared to the previous 2015 Blu-ray that I'm comparing this to, this does sound a bit better. It was cleaner and clearer. It didn't have any of those audio fluctuations that I ran into in the 2015 Blu-ray when I'd watch it, where the sound would go up and down really bad, where when they were talking it was quieter, then the next scene would be really loud and you'd have to turn it down and up and down and up. This didn't have any of those issues. It's a very clean and a very nice presentation with the lossless audio mix that's present on this 4K. Now, this is one of those newer manufacture on demand Paramount releases. These are where they're basically not sending them out to stores. You can only get them through like online retailers like Amazon exclusively. That link I put down there below is the Amazon exclusive link. I don't mind those so much because they're actually very nice pressed discs, and I haven't had any issues with them at all. Though I will tell you, it did have some residue on the disc itself from kind of off-gassing of the case that was still present on it. I did have to clean the disc. If you haven't watched my how to properly clean your disc video, you'll want to check that out. But that is one of those things. I cleaned it off and didn't have any playback issues, no skipping, tearing, no issues whatsoever with it once I cleaned it off. So that is something you'll want to do if you do buy this. Now, image is where your big improvements are on this. It looks very nice. I did say over that previous 2015 Blu-ray, it really did blow that out of the water. And the biggest drastic increase is definitely that new color grading in HDR10 and Dolby Vision Master. That is where the biggest improvements come into this. Though keep in mind, this does not have any special features on it. It is simply the movie and the audio options present on the 4K Ultra HD disc. So it does have plenty of room to breathe. Now, getting to the rough average bitrate. For this, it did have a healthy 59 megabits per second. So I would have loved to see it up in the hundreds because there wasn't any special features or things like that on it. But it was still healthy and it presented the image just nicely throughout it. I can't really complain much about it other than it would have been nice to get a bunch of special features in this. But again, this is a manufacture on demand release that they're releasing at a lower budget price point. So I kind of get where they're coming from this. They spent the time on the restoration of basically releasing it in this 4K set, and that's it. You're getting the movie and the audio to enjoy, and I did enjoy it. Now, getting to my review score. For Kiss the Girls on 4K Ultra HD, I do wish it would have had more in this set, like special features wise. That's kind of my nitpicky complaint. It doesn't have a Blu-ray disc in here of the previous transfer, which is fine. So it is a more limited set. With that going into mind, it's a good 8.4. It's one I recommend buying and adding to your collection, especially if you like these mystery horror thrillers that basically Ashley Judd, Morgan Freeman. It's a good and enjoyable film from the 90s that I do recommend checking out, and this is the best way to experience this film. But for future reference, Paramount, when you're going to release more of these manufacture on demand like this, maybe throw in some special features. Then it could get a little bit higher of a review score, because I did feel like it was more or less a bare bones 4K release. I enjoy the film, but I would love to have some basically commentary, some behind the scenes, especially with Morgan Freeman. He's always great in behind the scenes, like talking about the films and things like that. I just sort of like to see that a little bit more. Otherwise, I did enjoy this film, and this is another one that I do recommend adding to your collection. I put that exclusive Amazon link down there right below. Again, it's limited where you can get this because Paramount has a limited licensing with only a few companies that even sell these. So that exclusive link I posted from Amazon is where you're going to want to order this from. And this is one of those. It's a cool release to have in your collection, and it's a good 90s movie. Next up, we have Carlitos Way, the Arrow Video limited edition box set that's coming out here in a few days. Now, I did get this in and went through all my testing in this. Now, I shared with all of you previously that I was going to test it in comparison to my previous 2021 Universal Carlitos Way 4K release. So this is a 4K versus 4K analysis that I did on this to let you know if there's an upgrade and what the differences are between these. Well, here's what I'm going to share with you. It is almost identical to what I previously tested in my Waterworld 4K versus 4K image comparison review video. Now, if you haven't checked out that video, it's available right now on the channel as well. That'll give you some more information about what the differences are between these transfers, but I'll give you some basic stuff. Basically, when I went through the rough average bitrate, Arrow Video's release had a more stable layer of film grain. The image is much more stable with none of the fluctuations that the previous Universal release had. So the image does look better, and it does have a higher rough average bitrate, right around 80 megabits per second. Now, on Universal's previous 2021 4K release, the rough average bitrate on this one was right around 74 megabits per second. So on Arrow Videos, it gets about a 6 megabits per second increase in the rough average bitrate because it has slightly more room, and basically they did a better job with the transfer on this and basically not compressing it down as much as Universal did with their 2021 4K release. So again, like I said, if you want to know more details about the image quality wise, very similar results to that Waterworld 4K versus 4K image comparison review I did. That'll give you some more detailed information about both of these releases, because that Waterworld one, I couldn't believe how similar they were. So to keep the time short on this video, if you want more information to know about it, basically you get an increase in image quality slightly. Colors do look slightly better on this, slightly. Bitrate is better on this, slightly, by about 6 megabits per second. For my review score for Arrow Video's limited edition box set of Carlitos Way, this gets a excellent 9.3. It's one that is a must buy that I say you need to buy and add to your collection. This limited edition box set, I absolutely love the contents in. It comes with your book, your poster, your postcards, your extra disc. There is some new commentaries on here that are brand new for this, with audio commentaries that were made specifically for this set, along with all the previous release special features included in this big box set. I love how it sits on your shelf. All of those things make this a must buy at 9.3. If you're wanting to buy and add this to your collection, as I said, that Amazon direct link is posted right down below. I do recommend this release over the previous 4K release by Universal, but again, it's slight. So you have to decide, is that slight upgrade worth the price of admission over this 4K if you already own it? To me it was, because I bought this again, because I like the film and I love the booklet, the poster, the postcards, and I love these hard cases. And getting the upgrade in image quality and slight transfer quality, it's worth it to me. So that's why this is one of those I did really enjoy. Next up, we have the 1984 cult classic horror zombie end of the world film, Night of the Comet. Now, this is one of those films I was extremely excited about when it was originally announced, and I had shared it way back about 6 months ago before it was ever announced by anyone else from my studio contacts, insider information I'd gotten in my most wanted and upcoming 80s movies on 4K Ultra HD video series. If you have not checked out that video series, there's tons of exclusive insider information I share in that video series. This is one of those titles I did announce that Shout and Scream Factory were working on and we're going to release on 4K. And it's one of those I waited a long time to come out because it is one of those kind of more campy, cheesy, zombie horror end of the world films from the 80s, but is really a wonderful slice of 80s enjoyment. And the film itself I've enjoyed on the previous Blu-ray release by Scream and Shout Factory. I really enjoyed this Blu-ray release and I've watched it numerous times. So I will tell you, if you've never experienced Night of the Comet, go into it understanding it does have some cheesy, corny 80s kind of gore and effects in it, but it blends so well into that just wonderful 80s experience of a film. And you do really have to sit back, go into this with an open mind, give the film a good half an hour, you'll be hooked. After the first 30 minutes, you really get into the characters, you enjoy the girls in it, the guy, the story of them surviving, going to the mall. I mean, there's so many fun things and the music is great in it. Well, I can tell you for this 4K release, I was nervous because Scream and Shout Factory have not had a great history of releases this year. There have been numerous of them I've tested and reviewed here on this channel that have not been good releases at all. So this is one of them I was hoping they did not botch and ruin because I really enjoyed the film. Well, for this 4K release, it is a native 4K 2160p, and it does have Dolby Vision and HDR10. And it was created from a new 4K scan of the original camera negative. And to make it very simple and direct for you, this new 4K scan and transfer blows away this previous 2013 Shout and Scream Factory Blu-ray release in every single area. There is not one area that this Blu-ray release holds a candle to this new, gorgeous, outstanding looking 4K transfer that just really surprised me. As I said, I've been disappointed with quite a few different Shout and Scream Factory releases this year that have really felt like cash grabs to me by Shout and Scream Factory that were thrown out with barely any work or horrible work done on them in the first place. Thankfully, this one is not one of those. This is one of those that is an outstanding audio and visual experience of one of those just great cult classic 80s films. Now, getting to my review score, this gets an outstanding 9.5. This is a must buy. Do not wait to buy this. Show your support for this release. This is an outstanding release by Shout and Scream Factory. Can't recommend this enough. I loved this release. I was so surprised at how amazing it looked with the film grain, the stability in the image, the details and depth in the image. No DNR was present on this, and really just shockingly blew away this enjoyable Blu-ray transfer to where I'll never watch this Blu-ray again, and neither will you if you own this. You must buy this on 4K. This is one of those that Shout and Scream Factory just, it's outstanding. They shocked and surprised me with this 4K release, and I'm making it simple for you. Do not wait. Go down there, buy this release, show your support, get it while you still get this limited edition slipcover. Remember, these slipcovers only come in the first pressings with Shout and Scream Factory as well, and I really did like it. Special features wise, you get everything from the previous Blu-ray release, and like it says, new 4K scan of the original camera negative shines through brilliantly on this new native 4K transfer. I put that direct sale link from Amazon right below. Let me know if you're gonna pick up any of these. Let me know now after hearing my mini short reviews, testing, and analysis, what of these titles are you excited to buy and add to your collection? Start that conversation down there below in the comments section and let me know what of these titles, now that I've done my analysis and reviews on, what are you excited to buy, and what of these are you gonna buy through those links down there below? Let me know what of these now you're thrilled to add to your collection. This is one of them. I can't recommend enough. I went out there, spent the channel's money to get this in for review, and this was a worthwhile one to test and analyze. 9.5 is a must buy. Man, I was really surprised at the quality of this release. Next up, we have one of my personal favorite sequels, The Legend of Zorro. Now, this is the sequel to The Mask of Zorro. I did previously review the limited edition steelbook set of The Mask of Zorro. That is where they brought out a new Dolby Vision transfer. This has Dolby Vision on it. But the previous Mask of Zorro that was out before that steelbook did not have the new 4K transfer. That new 4K transfer of The Mask of Zorro comes highly recommended from me. It was a nice upgrade over the previous just HDR10 transfer. Did really enjoy that. So I was curious how this one was going to turn out. This one does have Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it. Now I'm going to start off by pointing out a bunch of false information that I read and was shared with me that really is just sad, kind of some of the stuff I see sometimes in the industry. There is a very false review out there from a massive website. I'm not gonna name drop here specifically, but if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It states that this release is yellowed out, monochromatic, ugly, garish, and just one of those transfers that should not be viewed. That could not be farther from the actual truth. I'm gonna show you above the native image pulled directly from this 4K disc. Now, the only reason why a reviewer reviews something incorrectly and that falsely is because they do not have a professionally or correctly calibrated 4K TV or 4K player that is high-end, that has the technology to display Dolby Vision and HDR10 correctly. So, them saying that it has no colors, everything's grayed and yellowed out and monochromatic and ugly is completely wrong. This has natural skin tones, as you're noticing in those native images pulled up above. It has a very nice looking 4K transfer on it. The Dolby Vision and HDR10 shine through very nicely on this. It has nice brilliant whites, inky blacks with no black crush, and nowhere at any time throughout the entire film is it completely yellowed out like what that false review stated. So, just to let you know, this does not look anything like some of that false info you have heard about. It is a very nice looking transfer. The Dolby Vision and HDR10 Master have nice natural looking skin tones from beginning to end. Colors shine through nicely. Fire looks great. Blacks look great in it. And it has a very nice presentation that very much mirrors what I originally saw in 2005 when I went to see this in theaters originally. Now, I will tell you one thing I did discover that's a variance. On this, the Dolby Vision was the clear winner. It was at least 10% better looking than the HDR10 on this. And the reason why is his skin tones look drastically better on the Dolby Vision than they did on the HDR10. That's where I said it was an easy 10% better looking in that sense alone. So if you do have Dolby Vision, you will enjoy the transfer on this quite a bit more. The HDR10 was still enjoyable, but the Dolby Vision was the clear winner when you sit down and compare them side by side. Now, another nice treat we got on this release is Sony gave us an English Dolby Atmos mix. It was very impressive. It had great use of LFE, used the height channels very well, moved things around, and was a very enjoyable and immersive Dolby Atmos mix that I enjoyed. I felt like I was in the film. I felt like things were happening all around me, above me, and made you feel like you were sitting inside the action, which is what I'm looking for from a Dolby Atmos mix. So bravo, Sony, you did a great job in that sense as well. Now, getting to the rough average bitrate, this had a healthy 66 megabits per second. It was nice and healthy from beginning to end, and it did lend to why the image looked nice and had nice details, though I will reference, for those of you that don't know, the way this was filmed, there are certain scenes that intentionally have camera lenses that they use to give it a softer, romantic scene, and certain elements to give it a more almost Victorian era, which is not Victorian era, but that look, like just kind of more like Downton Abbey, softer scenes. There are some elements of that where it was intentionally filmed with camera lenses and filters to purvey that in this film. That's not something wrong or done wrong with this transfer. That's intentionally the way it was intentionally filmed for certain scenes. Now, getting to my review score, this gets a very good 9.0. This is a must buy. You want to buy and add to your collection. If you love The Mask of Zorro as much as I do, you must own this sequel. I was so excited when Sony announced they were releasing this. I've been waiting so long. I've been asking my contacts at Sony for years to release this on 4K. If you followed me here on my channel, I've talked about it a lot. That I've been contacting them, asking them, saying, please, you have it on digital, please release it on 4K. Finally, they listened to me and released it, and I was so excited. I told them thank you right away. But this is one of those. It does look good. It is not like some of those false reviews that are lies, completely wrong. Don't believe them. Get it for yourself. You'll see for yourself. It looks very nice, and the skin tones are very healthy, though I will reference, make sure you have a properly and professionally calibrated high-end 4K display and 4K player when you watch any of these 4K discs. It's important to present the Dolby Vision and HDR transfers the way they're intended to be seen. If you have a low-end, not professionally calibrated and not correctly calibrated display, you will not be seeing a correct image the way that those native images pulled from the discs, as you see above, actually look. And that's important so you see the native images the correct way they're intended to be viewed. So, The Legend of Zorro, another must-buy. Make sure to support this release. Show Sony how excited you are that they finally released this on 4K. Next up, we have the 1983 film from Sylvester Stallone, Staying Alive. Now, there is a cool scene in this where Sylvester Stallone bumps into John Travolta's character. It's very Hitchcocky-esque, basically. He's in it, he's directing it, and he shows up for a second in it. And I do like that scene in it. I won't say I love Staying Alive as a film itself. It's uneven pacing. It just honestly has some wonky pacing throughout it. But it is one of those 80s films I was glad got the 4K restoration by Paramount. Kino Lorber released this. They did send this for review. I was excited to dive into it because I'm a big fan and a child of the 80s that grew up with these films. So everything from the 80s, I want every film from the 80s on 4K. Even ones that I say have some wonky pacing, I still like the charm behind them, the acting, the music in this case. And it is one of those things I'm glad it was released on 4K. Now, for this release, it is a native 4K, and it does have Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it. And the image does look nice, Though it's not the best 4K restoration I've ever seen, which you'll understand when I get here to my review score. It's a nice image, just not gonna knock your socks off as amazing. Now, one downside I did encounter when I was testing this. The audio mix on this is an English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 and there's a 2.0 mix. Now, as far as the audio mix goes on this, it was a soft audio mix. I thought it really lacked a lot of LFE, bass response, all of that was very, very minimal to none. And I will say I understand that they're using elements from the 2.0 mix and so on, and the 5.1 mix expanded. But even with all of that, my issue is even the 2.0, regardless, they're just a softer audio mix all around. It didn't impress me audio mix wise. It was okay, but again, it just wasn't an amazing audio mix. So overall, for my review score for Staying Alive, this gets an okay 8.7. It is one, if you like the film, you want to have it on 4K, this does look quite a bit better than any of the previous releases on home video, image quality wise. So that's why I said it does get an 8.7. It's just not going to knock your socks off film wise, image quality wise, and sound wise as the best one you've ever seen. It's just okay. It's an enjoyable film, you sit back, have a good time, but it's not going to be one that's going to be one of the most memorable films you've ever watched. So take that as it is. I put that direct sale link from Amazon down below. Let me know if this is one of those that you absolutely love the film itself. Is it one of those that's your top 10 films of all time? Or is it one of those, kind of like me, it's okay. It's one that you enjoy it Saturday afternoon and it's not super memorable. You kind of move on and then a few years later you come back and watch it again. It's kind of one of those films to me. Let me know how you feel about this film. Start that conversation down below and let me know. Now, if you want to support the creation of exclusive videos just like this so I can keep testing and analyzing, getting all this content together, doing all this work so that you get these accurate and upfront and truthful reviews, make sure to support my channel through my Collectors VIP Club and use those direct sale links I post from Amazon in the description section right below. Those are very important to the creation of these videos. Just like my Collectors VIP Club, it only costs you, the viewer, less than $1 or $2 every month. But that goes drastically into the creation of these videos. It's how I can spend all of this time and money software testing things, going through and analyzing everything and creating every single one of these exclusive reviews for you. It's only through my Collectors VIP Club members and using those direct links from Amazon right down there below. Next up, we're going to talk about IMPRINT's limited edition collectible movie box sets. They really present these awesome collectible box sets that are really something cool to have in your collection. These really eclectic movie collections by directors and actors, and they do them in these really nice box sets. This one is the Directed by Walter Hill movie collection. It has a lot of really good films in here. Hard Times, The Driver, and I'll get to what's unique about this box set in a second here about The Driver, but it does have The Long Riders. I really enjoy that Western. Extreme Prejudice, Johnny Handsome, and another really great Western, Broken Trail. So he did a lot of really good films in his career as being a director. I will say though, what's unique about this box set is for The Driver, inside here, you get a 4K Ultra HD release of the brand new 4K restoration they did of The Driver with Studio Canal. This is one of those films, it's very similar in the sense of that Drive stole a lot of its ideas and kind of story beats from The Driver itself. This film has such great pacing, the acting in it, the stylized feel of it, how really Ryan O'Neal, the actor in this that plays The Driver, he's very like steely, stony faced throughout it, but it blends so well too that he's just not scared. He drives like a maniac in it and people are amazed at how good of a driver he is, and he's a getaway driver for criminals. And it's a story of basically this cop, this kind of deranged, off the rails cop that's determined to basically set him up or capture him because he knows he drives for all these criminals. The film's really enjoyable. I've always enjoyed this Walter Hill film, but this 4K release is a really cool one. It looked very nice, though I will say it did have the same kind of almost teal tint to it that Studio Canal is known for. That's what's included in this box set. I do really like it. I like that they included the 4K release in this, as well as you get inside here your actual 4K and you get your Blu-ray disc in here as well. So you get both options of the film in here. I did really like that they didn't just give us the Blu-ray version. That IMPRINT went the extra mile to make sure in this Walter Hill box set, they gave us the 4K release of this as well, which to me added to why this box set was extra cool. I mean, it's one of those things that, as most of you know, 4Ks are my favorite things to collect. I do love collecting Blu-ray TV series as well. Those are my probably two favorite things: Blu-ray TV series and 4K Ultra HD discs. Those are what, the second they're announced, I'm so excited. I'm pre-ordering them. Love getting all those in. This is one of those though. I love how Imprint does their boxes with like the V cut on them here. They're really thick cardboard, so they're really nice that you're not going to worry about them getting damaged on your shelf. And then they do all of them in these really cool, thick cases that I really like. So you got Hard Times with Charles Bronson in here. This is a good film, but I won't say it's my favorite Walter Hill one. I enjoyed it, but it's not as good to me as The Driver was. I really enjoyed The Driver better than this one. Then you have The Long Riders. This one was really misunderstood when it came out. People said it was too long, had too long a pacing of writing scenes and things like that. To me, it's not. It harkens back to a lot of the classic westerns that I love. So I've always really enjoyed this film for that sense. So next up, you had Extreme Prejudice with Nick Nolte. This is one of those more modern western feels that Walter Hill did. I did enjoy this one as well, and it does have a very heavy modern western feel to it. And this one is up there with Long Riders and things, and The Driver. I really enjoyed this one in the box set. Then you also get Johnny Handsome. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy this one that much. It was okay. So it's one of those things, if you enjoy this film, let me know which of these in this box set you've watched already. Have you gotten this box set yet or checked out any of these films? But this is one of those that it was just okay to me. And one of my favorite westerns in this entire box set is with Robert Duvall, Broken Trail. It really is reminiscent of like Lonesome Dove, which I love that film. I want that on, actually I want the whole series on 4K. But this is one of those that I really, really enjoy. If you have not experienced this film, Robert Duvall is amazing in this, and it is a wonderful Western. And really rounded out this outstanding set by Imprint. This is one of those sets by Imprint that I enjoyed the entire thing, even though like Johnny Handsome wasn't my favorite film and just wasn't one that I really loved. The rest of the films in here made this so worthwhile to me that this is one of those I was happy to have in my collection, and I do highly recommend. Next up, we have Imprint's Film Focus series. This is again where I said they either focus on a director or an actor. This one is Gene Hackman's collection. In this collection, we get I Never Sang for My Father, Bite the Bullet, The Domino Principle, and March or Die. Now, I do feel like this one varied quite a bit more in its content. For example, I thought Bite the Bullet was very enjoyable. I liked The Domino Principle, and I really enjoyed March or Die, but I didn't really enjoy I Never Sang for My Father that much. It was okay. So again, I really felt like this is one of those that I really enjoyed 3 of the films out of the box set. One of them I wasn't as much a fan of, but I will show you again, box set comes with that V cut on it I really like. And then inside here, again, it's these really nice clear collectible limited edition box sets they do. I really like the like Western cover they have on here with the train behind. I thought that was really cool, and I did like the cover artwork they used on that one. Then you have the Domino Principle, Trust No One, No One. And I like that mystery aspect of it. It does say though that this does have a 1080p high definition presentation of a 2K scan. So this was created from a 2K scan. And then for March or Die, we also got a new 2K scan of the original camera negative. This one did look quite a bit better though, and I did enjoy the transfer on this one quite a bit. And I will say this is one of those, it's about the Foreign Legion. I enjoyed this one a lot. I'm a big war movie buff and fan. So this one really rounded out the Gene Hackman collection for me and made it a very enjoyable collection. So overall, I would recommend the Gene Hackman Film Focus collection from Imprint. Now keep in mind, these are limited edition collections. Imprint only does so many of them. Once they sell out, they're not available again. And they come in these, like I said, limited edition box sets, numbered with the numbers they are. So if you've been collecting these, they are all numbered, so that way they sit on your shelf and they all have numbers for each and every one of the titles in these box sets. This is another one of those I really enjoyed. I've always really enjoyed Gene Hackman as an actor anyways. Let me know if you've seen any of these films. Have you experienced any of these films originally on like DVD or anything? Are you excited to upgrade and get them on Blu-ray now with the new scans they did for this collection? Let me know in the comment section below. Next up, we have the Jennifer Connelly Film Focus collection. Now, this is one of those actresses, if you followed me here on my channel, I have always adored her as an actress. I grew up watching her in the 80s on so many films that I really think she's one of those that has a great presence. She's a very, very pretty actress that has beautiful black hair, And she's one of those that her looks that she gives in her films are just so like, I don't know how to explain it, just epic. I don't care what film she was in, but even when she like stares at the camera, you just feel like you're getting sucked in. And maybe that's just me, but even my wife says she's a great actress that I've always enjoyed. This one is a smaller of the box sets though. You get 3 films in this box set, so not 4 or 5 like some of the other collections. You do get career opportunities, which I previously already own on Blu-ray, but I will say it's nice it's in this box set because it is a very underrated film of hers that I do enjoy. It's a comedy, romantic / comedy that I do enjoy. Though the standouts in this box set for me was House of Sand and Fog. If you have not checked out that film, I really felt like her acting performance in that was award worthy. I know she got some nods, but she really didn't get any big awards from it. That one is really good. It will really surprise you how good she is in that film. Now, she's also opposite the great Ben Kingsley. So I guess when you're playing against Ben Kingsley, who is an amazing actor, I mean, he has some amazing films in his career, you really got to step up your game. So Jennifer Connelly did. That movie, The House of Sand and Fog, is just really good. And it's included in here on Blu-ray for the first time, and it looks very nice. I will say on the side here, it has it in red, 242. It is created from a new 2K scan of the original camera negatives, and it does look very nice on this Blu-ray release. This is the outstanding title in this set for me. I love the acting, I love the story, it will surprise you. I don't want to give away too much, and I really have a hard time for you even watching the trailer, because if you watch the trailer, it gives away a lot of what was the kind of surprise acting experience in this film. That's why I have a hard time sometimes recommending people go watch a trailer and then they're like, oh yeah, that looked good. Because sometimes the trailers give away a lot, and I felt like the trailer for this did. Now I will say in this film focus set, I absolutely loved the shiny book that they gave for this collection. I really like when Imprint does this. It has nice, gorgeous, glossy photos, talking about the films, talking about her and about her career and about what went behind the films, and very nice and glossy book. So I enjoyed this Jennifer Connelly Blu-ray collection of films in here, especially because we got some films that have never been released on Blu-ray before, which it's nice to get them with their nice new transfers. So this is a great addition to the collection that I do recommend. Next up, we have the Film Focus collection by Imprint, which is of Jessica Lange's basically filmography. It has some of her films in it, 4 films in the collection. You get Frances, you get Crimes of the Heart, you get Music Box, and you get one of my personal favorites, Losing Isaiah. This is one of those heart-touching films that for me, this was my favorite out of the box set. In each one of these Imprint box sets, I try to pick out which is my favorite film that kind of sold me on the box set as worthwhile, that is the one that, man, I really enjoyed that film. I had to have that film. That's why I had to have that box set. This is it. I really enjoyed this film. I think a lot of the times it's underrated. A lot of people didn't give it basically a fair shake. It's done from the sense of, what if you had someone leave their baby in a dumpster, you raise it, and then years later that person comes back to claim your child that you've raised for years, that child only knows you as mother. And it is one of those, it plays with your mind. It really tugs at your heartstrings. And as a father, you know, it really does kind of hit home. Like, what if something like that were to happen? How would you feel about it? Film's done wonderfully well, and I've always really enjoyed this, and I think the performances in this by both ladies is absolutely stellar. Loved this film, and this is one of the big selling points for this box set for me. All of the 1080p HD transfers on each of the Blu-rays in this set are created from a new 2K scan. They do look pretty darn nice on this. I don't know, like I said, that we'll see a lot of these films ever released in anything other than these transfers. And that's why I think these are a great collection that Imprint's doing. They're releasing a lot of these, kind of like I said, more obscure films that need to be owned in your collection and experienced and preserved, so that way you get to own these and watch these for years to come. And that's where I think these Imprint collections are just really great. I think Imprint does a great job with these, and I get excited every time they announce another one of these collections. I put all of the direct sale links for every single one of these sets in the description section down there below, but keep in mind, all of these are limited edition sets. Once Imprint prints these and they sell out, they don't print them again, they're gone. So don't wait too long if any of these you're interested in. I put all of the direct links for every single title I reviewed, tested, and analyzed today in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section right below. Start that conversation down there. Let me know in the comment section, what of all 25 of these films I tested, analyzed, and reviewed in this video are you gonna buy? I always love to hear what ones you guys and gals are gonna buy. It's always exciting for me to hear, hey, these ones people were excited about, these ones they weren't so much excited about. That's why I always ask, let me know in the comment section below what ones you're excited about. I love to hear about it. I'm a big collector and I love to hear from other collectors just like you. What of these sets you get excited about because of the restorations or the reviews? Let me know that down below in the comment section below. Any of these you're gonna buy, make sure to use those links down there below and support me through my Collectors VIP Club. These videos are only possible through my support of the Collectors VIP Club and those links below. It costs you less than $1 or $2, but that does make a big difference. YouTube takes about 35% and I get a few dollars after that that goes back into the creation of these. That's how I'm able to spend week after week analyzing, testing, and accurately reviewing every single one of these releases. So if you enjoy this and these videos have helped you out on my channel, join my Collectors VIP Club. I want to say thank you to all my current VIP Club members. You are amazing and I truly, truly do appreciate you. As always, make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. I truly hope all of you have a blessed day, and I always have something new, exclusive, early, and exciting coming out very soon.